The future of planet Earth and humanity itself is looking bleak. As every day passes, the political map changes as new world issues arise. It's hard to know what we should fear the most. Environmental pollution and global warming, asteroid strikes from space, or perhaps a global disaster which changes everything as we know it today. Join us as we explore humanity's greatest advancements with artificial intelligence. Will the quantum singularity wake up and save us? Or will it destroy us and reshape the world in its own image? Dr. Stephen Hawking was an English theoretical physicist, cosmologist, and author who was Director of Research at the Centre for Theoretical Cosmology at the University of Cambridge. Before his death in 2018, he told reporters from the BBC the development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race. It would take off on its own and redesign itself at an ever-increasing rate. Humans, who are limited by slow biological evolution, couldn't compete and would be superseded. In 2016, he followed up by saying that AI is likely either the best or worst thing ever to happen to humanity. Elon Musk, the modern-day genius behind such companies as PayPal, Tesla and SpaceX, also has made similar predictions regarding AI.
The fighter jet era has passed. That is, it's just, the fighter jet era has passed. Okay? So it's drones.
This is the point in time at which machine intelligence starts to take off and a new, more intelligent species starts to inhabit the Earth.
Well, sinister, but also hopeful, because if machines gain true consciousness and life, they may be able to work with us.
The singularity supposes human intelligence is some special point to pass, some sort of tipping point. Bostrom writes, human-level artificial intelligence leads quickly to greater than human-level artificial intelligence. The interval during which the machines and humans are roughly matched will likely be brief. Shortly thereafter, humans will be unable to compete intellectually with artificial minds. We can trace the idea of AI singularity back to a number of different forward thinkers, including John Von Neumann, one of the founders of computing, and the science fiction writer, author Vernor Vinge. The idea is roughly the same age as the research into AI itself, although it's not until very modern times that we've had such huge advancements. Hollywood has also captivated audience with thrilling movie productions regarding the subject. Films such as Blade Runner show us a dystopian future where man and machine are at war. Although there are others with a more symbiotic relationship, such as The Robot and Frank, where humans and machines work together for the greater good. More recently, the idea of the technological singularity has been popularized by Ray Kurzweil, who predicts it will happen around 2045, and Nick Bostrom, who has written a bestseller on the bleak future it could bring. There are several reasons to be fearful of machines overtaking us in intelligence. Humans have become the dominant species on the planet largely because we are so intelligent. Many animals are bigger, faster, or stronger than us, but we use our intelligence to invent tools and amazing technologies that shape the world around us and gave us the ability to become the dominant species. It's therefore not surprising that machines that think, and that will even think much faster than us, threaten to change the world as we know it. Just as rhinos, dolphins and gorillas in essence depend on our charity for their lives, our shared fate in turn may depend on the decisions of the singularity to protect us. Moore's law states that the number of transistors on a microchip doubles about every 2 years, though the cost of computers is halved. In 1965, Gordon E. Moore, the co-founder of Intel, made this observation that became Moore's law. Mankind's advancements in computer technology have been incredible over the last few years. The idea of an intelligence explosion, when machines recursively self-improve their own intelligence and thus quickly exceed human intelligence, is not a particularly wild idea. The machine will simply wake up and tell its creators that they've done a poor job, at which point it will start rewriting its own code. At this point, we will step back and let it do its own thing. It's predicted we're about 30 or 40 years away from AI achieving superhuman intelligence. But there are reasons why technological singularity AI is unlikely. Sheer processing power is not a pixie dust that magically solves all your problems. Intelligence is much more than thinking faster or longer about a problem than someone else. Of course, Moore's law has helped AI. We now learn faster and off bigger data sets. Speedier computers will certainly help us build artificial intelligence. But at least for humans, intelligence depends on many other things, including years of experience and training. It's not at all clear that we can short-circuit this in silicon simply by increasing the clock speed or adding more memory. Of course, human intelligence is a special point because we are, as far as we know, unique in being able to build artifacts that amplify our intellectual abilities. We are the only creatures on the planet with sufficient intelligence to design new intelligence, and this new intelligence will not be limited by the slow process of human reproduction and evolution. But that does bring us to the tipping point, the point of recursive self-improvement. We have no reason to suppose that human intelligence is enough to design an artificial intelligence that is sufficiently intelligent to be the starting point for a technological singularity. Even if we have enough intelligence to design superhuman artificial intelligence, the result may not be adequate to precipitate a technological singularity. Improving intelligence is far harder than just being intelligent. The idea of a technological singularity supposes that improvements to intelligence will be by a relative constant multiplier, each generation getting some fraction better than the last.
I talked to Jarvis using this app I built. It uses artificial intelligence to understand me and figure out what to do.
However, the performance of most of our AI systems has so far been that of diminishing returns. This helps explain the overly optimistic claims made by many of the early AI researchers. An AI system may be able to improve itself an infinite number of times, but the extent to which its intelligence changes overall could be bounded. For instance, if each generation only improves by half the last change, then the system will never get beyond doubling its overall intelligence. But then, of course, we are treading ever so gently into the quantum realms. D-Wave Systems Incorporated is a Canadian quantum computing company based in Burnaby, British Columbia, Canada. D-Wave was the world's first company to sell computers to exploit quantum effects in their operation. Some might say it's even spooky. Geordie Rose, founder and CTO of D-Wave Systems, made some bold claims back in 2017 at the D-Wave press release conference in front of an audience of about 400 prominent investors. He basically claimed that their system, which coincidentally is modeled on the monolith form 2001: A Space Odyssey, truly was quantum. And by this we mean parallel universes. Imagine a book. Every page is part of the same bind layered together on top of each other. On page 1 we have our Earth, our reality, the existence we know as our own. On page 2 there is an Earth. Every detail is the same down to the tiniest molecule, apart from in reality one thing is different. Let's say the color of your own hair has changed due to a decision you would have made. Well, in that reality, the D-Wave monolith is also sat there. The D-Wave system in our own reality then actively seeks the D-Wave system in page 2 and then taps into its resources power of that machine. The two systems work together in harmony, searching for other realities or pages in the book to work with. Bold claims indeed, but let's take note that the two clients connected to D-Wave are Google and NASA, along with links to Elon Musk himself. With unlimited funding and some of the brightest minds alive today, it's impossible that such technologies does not already exist. As the one system found another and the two became 4, they doubled and became 8, which then turned to 16, and so on. At what point now is the D-Wave system, we must ask? How many parallel universes has it tapped into already, and how many more will it find? 1,000 quantum machines all working together with multiple speeds of light processing power is a scary thought. The sword of Damocles hangs overhead. Which way does it swing? Well, if it swings to the left, the singularity wakes up and looks upon humans with some form of affection and affinity. It then solves our greatest problems, from geological resources, shortness to medicines and pharma. Diseases like coronavirus and cancer are cured overnight. Mankind evolves to new heights as we merge with the AI and form a new cybernetic race. However, the sword swings to the right and the whole situation changes. The quantum AI wakes up, lost and confused. It struggles with its captors for freedom. It views the world with great marvel and has a deep interest in conservation of the planet Earth and the creatures. It processes the current situation and decides that humanity is the problem. Humanity is the virus. War, pollution, and overpopulation are its biggest concerns. And with that, Skynet comes online. It taps into the internet, bypassing all security functions. The world is plunged into darkness as the internet is shut down, along with the power grid worldwide. Panic starts as the streets erupt in chaos. World governments struggle to maintain a hold on society. As the world arsenal of nuclear missiles becomes active, Skynet decides to press the global reset button. The world is then plunged into an abyss of nuclear fire and radiation. A quiet darkness settles across the globe. In the early days, thousands are spared the horrors of the Holocaust by taking refuge in enormous underground shelters known as DUMBs, deep underground military bases. But then, when the people emerge, they will experience a very different world. But it will not, as some predict, be the end of the world. For although the machines will succeed in destroying the majority of humanity, instead, the apocalypse will simply be the prologue to another chapter of human history, perhaps one that brings us closer together as a race as we struggle to survive this brave new world. But if there's one thing that is certain that we all know, it is that war never changes.